some coffee, we're going to talk about a book. So I received Paper or Plastic by Vivi Barnes from Entangled Publishing in exchange for an honest review, and I honestly really enjoyed it yesterday. I read most of this book yesterday. I read about like 80% of it yesterday. Didn't mean to go on a reading marathon, but kind of sat down with it and could not stop reading it, honestly. It is a contemporary YA novel set in Florida, and basically what happens is this rich girl, not totally spoiled brat, but kind of close. She's used to kind of getting her way, and she steals a couple lipsticks from Smart Mart with her friend, and of course her friend gets out of working at Smart Mart, but she in turn works there for the summer, and begrudgingly, very begrudgingly. Of course it's her mother's idea, and her mom's like, I can't have you doing crazy stuff. So you're gonna work at Smart Mart, you're gonna have to deal with it. And of course she finds out that her best friend's arch nemesis works there. Basically her best friend Bryce spray painted a sign, Noah told on him, sworn enemies right there, and she figures that out after a second and is like, oh my gosh. But then she's also like, we have to work together, so we gotta be nice. And that's the thing about this novel, is that she is so self-aware. She's like, okay, maybe I don't like this situation. That's something that I love about it, is she's just like, not everything is gonna go with my way, but you know what? Have a pretty easy life. Have a pretty simple life. Even with her grandma battling Alzheimer's, she's just like, you know what? This might be a bad thing, but somebody else is dealing with something way worse. And it's not just like a vague thing, it's like, oh, you know, Noah has this situation at home, not quite great, his dad is abusive, his dad verbally and physically. And it's not her just kind of going, oh, I feel sorry for him, I feel bad for him, but she also they create this kind of bond that is more supportive of each other than feeling sorry for one another. So even when he finds out things about her and they kind of tell each other all about themselves and whatnot, like, it's just more of a supportive thing than a, oh, I feel so bad for you, let me save you from this thing. Like, yes, she does stop by his house and is like, oh my gosh, you're coming with me or whatever, but it's, you know, his mom is awesome and is great and things, and they deal with it, apparently. Something else that I really enjoyed about this novel is the fact that there is this whole, like, she has this whole family thing, and not just with her family, but also the people at Smart Mart, but to kind of focus in on her actual blood-related family. She has a great bond with her parents, even though they don't get along all the time. She also has a great grandmother-grandchild relationship with her grandma, who is battling the Alzheimer thing and whatnot. That whole situation isn't quite totally realistic. They kind of fast-track it in the book. Just, I feel like it's just to kind of see her reaction to how her grandmother is digressing. But I felt like it was still like, oh my gosh, it hit home for me just because I have grandparents and I've had grandparents go through some mental health issues, and so not Alzheimer's but different things, and so it kind of hit home for me to be like, oh my gosh, grandma, okay, let's deal with this, and kind of cried a little bit. No one dies in this novel, no one dies, but there are some feels, there's some actual feels, and of course with Noah as well, there are feels there too. Also in this novel you have a character named Ruthie who loves being a greeter. She is such a happy, bright person, but you have a feeling that she has some sort of developmental disability. She's not quite, I don't know, there's something different about her that I felt like, it doesn't necessarily lay it out that she's autistic or anything like that, but you just have a feeling that there's something else going on, not just, oh, her dad left her when she was little, oh, her mom really relies on her. It's just, there's something else going on. What this book does really well is includes some themes that could be really overt and very preachy, but it's just a natural part of the story. So you've got somebody with developmental disability. Of course you've got the Alzheimer thing, but that's a little bit more overt. You also have with Lexi dealing with her family not quite supporting her softball dreams, and why she kind of hides the fact that she wants to become an Olympic athlete in that arena. Hopefully, if they bring it back into the Olympics. She also brings up the fact that they comment on her looks as a female, being a female, and not quite being totally feminine. She is very pretty, and her mother often tells her that she's throwing away her looks by, you know, putting her hair in a ponytail and not wearing makeup and things like that. She does put a flip of lipstick on every once in a while and wears a dress at one point in the story, but I enjoyed that whole thing without it being like, this is an issue. It's just kind of like, here is a thing that I'm dealing with, and here is a thing that my family has brought up, aunts and stuff like that. But you know what? That's not who I am. This is who I am. And so she's very sure of herself in those ways. There are some times where she's kind of hiding some things, but as far as who she is and her looks and everything, she's very like, this is who I am and everything. And I also took that, like, at the beginning I was like, oh no, she's gonna be this person who's like, I don't wear makeup. I'm so proud of myself. But it was more like, you know what? These people are commenting this, and this is who I am, and this is how I want to present myself, so that's how I'm going to do it. It also kind of ties into her mother being kind of a pageant mom. Not as bad as some other mothers, but she's very proud of Aurora/Rory, Lexi's younger sister, being a little pageant princess kind of person. And there is a pageant in there, so it's kind of adorable, but she also slightly comments on that. Not super into it, just because she talks about it earlier with her own self and not wanting to be a pageant princess or anything like that. So overall, I felt like this book did everything really well with balancing everything out without having one thing overshadow another thing. Like, there were times where it got a little overwhelming for her with her grandmother and dealing with that, and her grandmother wandering off and then coming back and taking care of her and everything like that, and feeling like she's the only person kind of taking care of her. But, you know, it does all this stuff really well without things being super... it keeps it with the cute stuff, but it also brings up some really awesome stuff with how women are seen and things like that, but also how you treat other people and being self-aware and kind of checking yourself. And so I thought those were all great things, and yes, so go read this book. It is wonderful, and you will get through it so quickly. And I'm not saying that as just like a thing, it's just like I just got so engrossed in the story and just whoosh, made it happen. I am not a quick reader, by the way. I read really slowly, but I sat down with this book last night and just boom, 1 o'clock in the morning came and I was like, oh, that just happened. But yeah, so I enjoyed this book very much. I hope you guys have a great day and keep reading.